Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I am working on the backlog. We are getting to Lisa featuring Doja Cat and Raye. This is Born Again. The video for just the reaction was posted alongside this one, so if you just want the reaction, feel free to go check that one out. This video is the breakdown video where we're going to go a little bit deeper into the lyrics, stuff I see in the video, just basically things that I think are worth talking about. So, yeah, stick with me and let's go check out Born Again. Okay, so the subtitles are English auto-generated, so I'm just gonna pull them up over here. So first off, we get the definition for Born Again, the transformation into a new woman who embraces her freedom to become the person she desires to be. So this is following a breakup, presumably, because there's a lot of times we saw in the first playthrough where they're talking about how the person could have been born again every single night, but now they're obviously not. And again, I mentioned this in at the beginning of the reaction video, but transformation into a new woman, remember, she has the song New Woman. We've already reacted to that because it came out maybe a month before this one did, or maybe two. And that's the song that she did with Rosalia, which was another fantastic song. So let's see. Let me go ahead and pull the lyrics up over here. Okay. Wrong button. Had to make sure I was still recording.
If you try just a little more times, what would have made you a believer? Would it show you what it's like?
Sultry. She's coming in here looking like a goddess. Okay. That's interesting. I wonder what these coordinates are to. I didn't catch these at first, but I would be interested to know where these coordinates lead. In fact, I wonder if I can actually look them up real quick. They're probably nowhere, but just on the off chance. Let's see, 48.8023 north. 2.1297 east. Ha. So the first location, because when I typed the coordinates in, it says locations in Lisa's new song. So I assume there's more coordinates, but the first one takes us to Versailles in France, which checks out partly because of Lisa's rumored dating with was it Louis Vuitton heir or Yves Saint Laurent heir? I don't remember, but she is with or was with a guy from France. Also, we see some French images, like Doja Cat is dressed up as Joan of Arc in here. Okay. Oh, I didn't even talk about the intro lyrics. So if you tried just a little more times, I would have made you a believer. So, like, you stopped trying. You gave up. But if you hadn't given up, if you had been, you know, I don't know, if you had been a man, I would have shown you every night what it's like. She actually says every single night. So we're obviously talking about love. We're obviously talking about sex. Let's hear the rest of verse 1. Okay. Well, that explains it literally. Second line. So the first line was in the car, top down, black shades on, looking so good. And I just broke up with my man. Like, a very, very silly man. So the silly man part is the echo, and it's like, it's one of the other girls. I think it's Raye singing the very silly man part, but the way it's produced is designed to almost make it sound like her inner thoughts. So like she's telling us out loud, she just broke up with her man, but in the inside, she's like, yeah, he was dumb as hell.
Just see, cause I'm done. Down, down, rude boy, get your foot up on my dash. Got all the receipts to my business woman. Little bit of heartbreak, a little bit of how could you do that? A little bit of talking out your
You hear that
ass.
funky bass going too?
What you had but could not hold, and that's on you, baby. Too bad. I'm about to make it hurt as I vroom vroom. Ice cold, how I leave you alone, but please tell your mother I'ma miss her so.
Okay, a little bit of fu there at the end, but first the rest of verse one X in the passenger seat because I'm done. Down down rude boy, which whenever I hear it, like it's just a phrase, but anytime I hear rude boy, I think of Rihanna, and it may be a call out to her, or it may have literally nothing to do with her. But anyway, get your foot up on my dash. Got all the receipts. I'm a businesswoman, so when you have all the receipts, you're basically like you have proof that maybe they were cheating, or maybe that they were just an asshole, whatever. You came with receipts. You have the proof. So if they ever try to say in court, to your circle of friends, to you, that, oh, this didn't happen, they try to gaslight you, make you think it was your fault, any of that, you're like, no, no, I got the proof right here, whether it be text, photos, whatever. All right, so she's comparing herself to a businesswoman when she says she's got the receipts. Little bit of heartbreak, because, it still hurts. Little bit of, how could you do that? So presumably he cheated. And if you cheat on Lisa, you're just an idiot. So we'll just throw that out there. A little bit of talking out your ass. It's a phrase, if you're not familiar, just talking that essentially means like you're just lying. You're just making shit up. A little bit of look at what you had but could not hold. Like, ooh, just sticking the dagger in him. Like look at all of it. Not you to me, but her. Like, pretend I'm Lisa for a second. Like, look at all this, and you just you had it. Like, you fumbled the bag, bro. And that's on you, baby. Too bad. I'm about to make it heard as I vroom vroom. So she's heading off with haste. Ice cold, how I leave you lone. Obviously we think of when you're alone, you think about being cold and lonely. But please tell your mother I'ma miss her so. Maybe she had a good relationship with the mom, but it's also kind of like that fu at the end. Like, yeah, your mom likes me better than you. Tell her I'm gonna miss her. Like, mwah. All right, into the chorus. So that's the same as the intro. Okay, before we head into part two, the chorus, after the intro repeat was to be born again, baby, to be born again. But from what we're seeing here in the video, we see a statue of who I believe to be Eve, just based on stuff that we're going to see later on. And if you're not familiar with Eve, we're talking about the creation story from the Bible of Adam and Eve. The reason I think it's Eve is because it's supposed to be an attractive woman who is covered and is modest in her nudity, and she doesn't know that she shouldn't be, or that she should be ashamed or anything like that, because at this point in the creation story, she's not been made aware that being naked is like, oh no, like I shouldn't be out here without clothes kind of thing. But like I said, we'll explore that a little bit later. They're all looking amazing here on this whatever kind of throwback sofa this is. And then Lisa she looks like she kind of shies away from more of the religious aspect of any of this. uh, and is just leaning in towards like looking good. You know, she's got all this gymnastic equipment. She's showing off her like her body line. Uh, I think later on we see her actually like hanging from the rings or something like that. Um, so yeah, it's just like, you know, showing off that she's flexible. She's got the skills, right? Now we've got a medal of some sort, uh, like a military medal. Not quite sure if that would be like, certainly not the Medal of Honor, but you know, something along those lines, just a generic medal. Okay, yeah, she is hanging off the rings here. But lyrically, if you stayed just another few nights, I could have made you pray to Jesus. Like, just listen, it doesn't even take a few nights, Lisa. Would have showed you to the light because you would have been born again, right? Every single night to be born again, baby, to be born again. So, you know, oh, that medal wasn't necessarily a medal of honor. It was like a trophy medal. I didn't realize that this was more like a competition type of medal, like basically saying that she's the best. So very small addition to the scenery, but that's what we're going for here. Um, but yeah, like a common phrase. No, I don't know about y'all's sex lives. I don't care about your sex lives. But in media, a common phrase when people are having sex is just like, "Oh God." Like you don't hear atheists in the bedroom or in a foxhole, but this is a different story. But it's always like, "Oh God, oh Jesus, whatever." So she's literally saying like, I would have made you call out for your deity because of how good it was every night, not just one night, not just here and there, like every night, bro. You fumbled. She's tracing her hand up her body, like trying to accentuate what you're lost out on. Okay, so right out here, Doja Cat is dressed up as like sexy nun slash horror movie nun. She's got the cross around her neck, large cross, mind you. She's wearing a version of the habit. So she's playing into this religious role. And her very first line is, "Non-believer, you've bitten from the fruit but can't give back." So that ties into the statue of Eve that I was talking about earlier in the creation story. Or I guess technically it's another chapter from that same story. Eve eats from the tree of, I think it's the tree of knowledge, or was it the tree of good and evil? They're two different trees. I get them mixed up. The point is, she ate a fruit from a tree she wasn't supposed to eat from, and that's how she became aware of her nakedness and all this other stuff. All right, that aspect of it doesn't necessarily matter, but Doja Cat's line here is, "You've bitten from the fruit." Like, you've done something forbidden. You weren't supposed to do it. You knew you weren't supposed to do it, and now you can't undo it. Can't give back. Nice to leave you, but I won't be a fool not to ask. Do your words and gospel to you now? So I would be a fool not to ask, do your words seem gospel to you now? Basically, remember Lisa's part about talking out your ass and all that kind of stuff. This man has either been lying, well, we know he's been lying, but he may have even been arrogant with it. He may have been saying, you know, like things that, like you would be stupid not to believe what I'm saying, type of thing. And so if you believe wholeheartedly in something like that, whether it's right or wrong, you can often hear the phrase of like, "This man's word is gospel." So, and that's what she's getting at here. Like, do you truly believe everything you're saying is really like how it is? Is that the story you're sticking with? Nobody else can be right. And of course, calling it gospel is tying it into this religious aspect as well. Okay. Let's see. Too many lies would be wrong, so wrong. Said he popped tags on my shopping spree. So, for my older audience who doesn't get that, usually popping tags means didn't even care about what the price was. Just clipped the tag off, threw it in the bag, bought it without a second thought, basically. But then she says, stayed mad when I showed him all the long receipts. Like, he was funding my shopping, and he didn't seem to care, but now he mad when I show him the receipt. But also, we talked about, like, coming with the receipts earlier. Now, I don't know if she is referring back to that also, or if this is just talking about the shopping. But I feel like it probably does tie into, the coming with receipts when the other person does wrong. They laugh, but you crash out like a comedy. Obviously, comedy making you laugh. Crashing out is modern slang for just losing your mind, losing your shit, like just going nuts. For example, parents, y'all have a little toddler. You go into the grocery store, and the toddler starts throwing a little tantrum. You could also call that your toddler is crashing out. Anyway, I can't be your sugar mom. Get a job for me. Shit. She's like, I got my own money, and I don't have time to be babysitting you. I don't have time or money to be dealing with you. I got my own lifestyle to be funding. I'm free now. Like, you gotta go get a job, bruh. Hold on, what? Oh, yeah, it's just a tape that says Born Again.
Let go. Let me live happily forever after more. I hope you learned something from a little fiasco. You played the game smart, letting little me pass go.
I hope you learned something from a little fiasco. You played the game smart, letting Lil Me pass go. That's a Monopoly reference. But, yeah. Okay. I'm not really sure what she means by he played the game smart. Maybe he thought he was being smart and thought, like, he wasn't going to get caught or something. And then, or since she's saying, let me pass go, like, maybe she's saying, like, you played this right, like, you screwed up, but by not trying to lock me down and, whatever, keep me here, then you've allowed me to be free, and that's the smart way to play this. I'm not quite sure. I'm leaning towards that version of my interpretation, but I'm not positive. And also, I didn't mention this because they gave us, within the song's context, the Born Again definition. But since I've mentioned the religious, imagery, iconography, stuff like that in here, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Born Again is often used in Christianity, and I'm not sure about other religions, so if that phrase is used in other religions, please let me know. But in Christianity, it's you're born again if you've come out of sin and you've been baptized and you've accepted Jesus, who in this song you're praying to because the sex is so good. You've accepted Jesus into your life. You become a new person. You're born again. Now, another aspect to this religious overtone that we're getting is you're going to see Doja Cat was almost like I said, like Sexy Nun here, but it's also like they're wearing all black early on in the video, but as we go on, we're going to move into them wearing white. So it's almost like wardrobe styling. They're also being born again. They're being cleansed. They're becoming free. There's the apples. Hold on. Was there another coordinate there? No, that's Roman numerals. I didn't Okay, I don't think there was. Alright, now we're wearing white. I don't want to talk over her. We're wearing white. We're in a field of white flowers. So now we've like reached that freedom, that born again status.
I'm trying to find words to tell him I ain't even feeling this. That love will never be deficient in. But see, you could wake up and take me like a vitamin. I learned the hard way to let go now and save my soul.
Okay, she's talented. I will say she's probably my least favorite on the track for her rap aspect. Not because she's not good, but because it's not to my liking. It's not my taste, basically. Her speed is on point. Her flow is on point. But what I'm not vibing with as much is how, I don't know if it's her accent or her delivery, but how she kind of almost blends or slurs words into each other. But anyway, let's talk about what she actually says here. Seasoned like the cinnamon, the way I'm getting rid of them. Which, by the way, she throws a lot of really solid rhymes in here. And maybe actually as we go on, when she says vitamin, she might have pronounced it that way on purpose because it comes closer to rhyming with all the other endings of the lines here. So, seasoned like the cinnamon, the way I'm getting rid of them. I'm only gonna make you need religion at the minimum. So rid of them, minimum, and I'ma do it diligent. I'm looking for a synonym. She bends synonym into synonym so that it'll rhyme off of minimum. I'm trying to find the words to tell him I ain't even feeling them. Don't ever let me be deficient in. Wish that you could wake up and then take me like a vitamin. So like she's bending the words to flow and rhyme, which is a really nice. Once I read it, actually, I kind of like her approach a little bit more. I still don't really like the melding, the slurring, whatever you want to call it, the blending of these words into another. But the way she's bent some of the syllables to make everything come close to rhyming at the end of each line is pretty solid. But we have another line there that's just obviously talking about sex. Wish you could wake up and then take me like a vitamin or a vitamin. Don't need any further explanation there. But then the last line, she breaks the rhyme scheme, which is also important because up to this point, and just in terms of how she's delivering, those rhymes are almost metaphorical from a standpoint of like her going through the different steps and the motions of this relationship and breaking free. And then at the end, we actually break free of that constraint with the line, I learned the hard way to let go now to save my soul. So we're being born again. We're saving our soul. Again, religious overtones. But just stylistically, we've broken free of the constraints of that rhyme scheme. So really cleverly done there. I don't know if it had to have been intentional. There's no way it wasn't. But I was going to say I don't know if it was intentional. But it absolutely was. I don't know if that was what they meant to do with it. But it certainly was intentional for some reason. All right, let's get to the chorus again. Say, now, I don't know who Lisa and Raye are theoretically dressed up as. They may just be like goddesses or whatever. But Doja Cat is dressed up in chainmail and very reminiscent of Joan of Arc. Now, I'm not saying she is supposed to be Joan of Arc here, but I'm just saying, like, that's the style that we're going with. She could also just be like a warrior goddess. Because you notice they're all in white now, not just Raye. Yeah, they're coming out of their center era. Yeah, that one was a lot of fun to kind of do this breakdown for. There was a lot of stuff to talk about from the perspective of the lyrics, and then also stuff that we saw, imagery in the video, how those two kind of complemented each other, and other things that we were able to point out. I definitely enjoyed the breakdown section on this one, but overall, this was a fantastic song. All right, so that was Lisa featuring Doja Cat and Raye with Born Again, and what a fantastic song. I love this one. If you guys liked this one, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell to enable your notifications. All that stuff helps the channel. Also, shout out to our Patreons. Thank you guys for all your support and your requests. If you're interested in getting requests done, and you want to see some of the content that I post but I can't put here on YouTube, then definitely go check out the Patreon. If you want to get requests done but you don't want all the benefits of the Patreon services, then you can check out the PayPal link that's down there as well for single-use type of requests. But thanks again for checking this one out. I'll see you later for more Lisa. Take care, everybody.